Hello my beautiful people, hi, I'm back with video 2 of the day. I decided to do 2 videos because like I said in my last post in the description box, so check that out, that I've been traveling and I was at a funeral, so I haven't really posted anything in almost 4 weeks, so I decided to do 2 videos today. My first video I talked about earlier was natural hair versus unnatural hair, and that was something that was very near and dear to me, that little controversy. So I decided to do another video that's kind of really near and dear to me, and that is the whole idea of hip-hop versus non-hip-hop songs. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because the other day I was driving with my sister and this song came on the radio, and I think it's called Problems by I believe 2 Chainz, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, maybe Taylor, but I know 2 Chainz, Drake, Kendrick Lamar was in the song. When the song first came on, you know, it had a little crazy beat to it that kind of had me pumping. Seemed really cool, and so I was kind of digging it at first. But then as the music started, I started to really like go listen to the song and hear the words. I was like, whoa, OMG, like that was not what I was expecting. And at first I kind of just brushed it off, you know, it's just a song, you know, why should I care, you know, whatever. But as it progressed and it just became more and more explicit and nasty and disgusting, I couldn't help myself. I just got to a point where I was just like, something is wrong, like something is seriously wrong if this is the type of filth and disgusting garbage that is floating through the airwaves of impressionable young women and young boys. And if you guys haven't heard that song, I don't encourage you to go and look it up. No, let me just tell you, it's bad, it's nasty, it's disgusting. Basically, to kind of give you a lowdown, the song is about a guy who loves bad, B-I-N-G-O, bad, B-I-T-C-H's, and basically there's nothing you can do about it. And he addresses other guys saying, you can't talk because your girl's over here at my house basically getting whatever. So yeah, obviously they're bad B. That's what the song is about. And I remember there's one part in the song where Kendrick Lamar comes in and does this little spill. And after I heard that song in the car, it stuck in my head. For whatever reason, it stuck in my head. And I couldn't remember the whole song, but all I kept hearing was the Kendrick Lamar part. Like, that kept registering in my mind. I remember today talking to someone. I said, there's this song that's been in my head. I can't get out of my head, and I don't know what the song is. Can you help me? I kind of told them, like, the parts I can remember. They said to me, oh, that's a song called Problems by 2 Chainz, you know, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, whoever. And I was like, oh, okay. And I couldn't remember what the song was really about, so I went on YouTube today to look it up, because that Kendrick Lamar part kept popping in my head. So I had to just kind of figure out what was this song that I couldn't get out of my mind. And when I heard the song, it doesn't even come to cook. I can't even describe to you how mortified I was. And the video was no better. The video showed girls rubbing all over their bodies, showing their assets all to the world. Just, I mean, why? Why would you lower yourself? Why would you degrade yourself in that way? Like, some of them were wearing pretty much nothing with high heel shoes on, and it's like, what the frick? And the song says, I love bad bees, that's not my effing problem. So basically it's like, yeah, I love bad girls, and like, that's not my problem. Like, it's just the way it is. Like, I love bad girls, there's nothing you can do about it. And if you have any problems, yeah, look who's at my house, you're a bad girl. And it makes me so like upset, is because I know there's going to be thousands upon thousands of young impressionable girls listening to that song thinking, if I want attention, if I want someone to love me, if I want somebody to adore me, if I want somebody to look at me and to want me, I have to be a bad bee. You know, I have to act a certain way, I have to look a certain way, I have to be a certain way. Basically, just being themselves is not good enough. That I have to look ratchet, I have to look hoish, I have to look like a slut, basically. Because that's what a lot of these music videos are teaching our young girls. That, oh, you know, showing all of God's heaven is okay. Like having your cookies, you know, out out on display for all the world to see. It's okay. You don't have your cleavage all out. Like, I see girls walk around, with the shortest shorts, and their butt crack is showing, their cookies are exposed, they're wearing these see-through tops with no bras on underneath, these big hoop earrings, the fake eyelashes, the $500 weave, the nails done, thinking they're looking cute. Then they'll be the first person to say, "Ooh, who you looking at?" When a guy wants to look at them or call them out their name, "I know you ain't calling me out my name. That's not what my mama named me. You better come to me correct." Like, but yet you wear outfits like that and you dress like that, but yet you don't want that type of attention. You want people to respect you, but you want people to treat you like you're an adult, but you don't act like it. And it makes me upset too, because I know there's a bunch of guys out there who are going to be listening to that song thinking, "Oh yeah, I want a bad bee, that's what I want. Yeah, I want a girl that I can walk all over. I want a girl that I can talk to any kind of way. I want a girl that I can disrespect. I want a girl that I can slap around and she ain't gonna say nothing or do nothing about it. That's the type of girl I want." I mean, seriously. When I think of a bad bee, I think of a girl who's rude. I think of a girl who's disrespectful. I think of a girl who doesn't have the education, doesn't have a good head on her shoulders, who doesn't know what she wants out of life. When I think of a bad bee, that's what I think of. I think of a person that I don't want to be associated with. But in this day and age, no, a bad bee means a girl who, "Oh my God, I'm a bad bee. You better come to me correct. You better not be calling me out my mouth. I will cut you straight up. Who you looking at? I'll take all that Brazilian, no, it ain't even Brazilian weave. I'll take all that fake weave out of your hair. I make money. I get mine. You don't talk about my stinky kids. Who you talking about stinky kids? My kids are better than your kids. So what? My kids ain't got this. So what? My kids ain't got that. I stay on deck. I stay making money. I got my fake Louis Vuitton. I got my fake Prada. I got my fake Burberry. And nothing you gonna do about it. Cause guess what? I got 3 baby daddies and they all in jail. And you can't talk about this. I will beat your. Okay, my granddaddy paid for my kids, my mama paid for my kids, my grandma paid for my kids, my auntie and my uncle paid for my kids, and the government pays for my kids. So excuse me, I got money on deck. Yes, I got my fake nails, but I spent $200 for. I'm a bad bee. You better come to me correct. You better not say nothing. You better not call me out my name. That's in this day and age. What now? That's a bad bee. Like what? What happened to getting an education? What happened to applying yourself? What happened to making goals for yourself? What happened to wanting to be something? But now all you have is girls who are like 300-400 pounds trying to fit into these star galaxy looking leggings, or leggings with the words "pow" and "wow" on it, leggings with kisses all over it, knowing good and well they shouldn't be. Now you have people showing their butt crack to the whole entire world. You have girls showing their stomachs and their boobs and everything, but oh, that's right, it's my body, I can do whatever it is I want. Who are you to tell me how to dress? Who are you to tell me how to act? Do I tell you what? You have these guys walking down the street showing their dirty drawers with a blunt in their mouth, hair not kept up. And then they wonder why we have so many issues, we have so many problems, because we don't have enough adults coming up, stepping up, telling these kids, like, excuse you, you're not going to walk out of my house until those pants are pulled up, until you have a belt on. No, you're not leaving this house until there is a bra underneath that t-shirt. I'm sorry, you're not leaving anywhere until those shorts cover your assets. If you have a problem with that, you can stay inside the house. I don't care. Like, no, you're not going to disrespect me. No, you're not going to talk to me any type of way. But that's how movie is. That's how TV shows it. That's how music is. It always shows the African American either dumb, stupid, in jail, bad attitude, or they show the African American who was trying to get paid, basically, who's all about things, cars, clothes, jewelry, whatever. I mean, I miss shows like Family Matters. I miss shows like what's the other show? The Cosby Show, because they actually showed African American people doing something with their lives. They actually showed, a mother and a father in the home who were there loving their kids, supporting their kids, but also being strict with their kids. There was no timeout time. There was no let's sit down and talk about this. There was no, okay, well, I'm gonna buy you this if you stop. No. Remember Good Times? And remember the dad, James, on Good Times? They've had several episodes on Good Times where they actually, had scenes where the dad whooped the kid's butt, and the butt came out of and the child came out of the room, rubbing their butt, saying, well, we don't have shows like that on TV anymore. All these shows now show parents being weak, and the kids are running the show. The kids are slamming the doors. The kids are stumping their feet. The kids are rolling their eyes. The kids are taking the car and just going wherever the heck they want. And the parents are not saying anything about it. And that's what saddened me about that song. That you're gonna have so many young kids listening to that song thinking, oh yeah, that's what I want to be, that's what I want to be, that's the type of person I want to be. Strive for more, strive for greater, strive to be something better. Like the other day, I saw this guy walking down the street, had his pants hanging down. Literally, he had on a pair of boxers, he had on a pair of basketball shorts, and he had on a pair of sweats. You can see each layer. He had no shirt on, his hair was nappy, he had like a blunt, in his mouth or whatever, had on these big headphones, and the music radiating out of those headphones were so loud, all you heard from the songs were either the N-word or a curse word. He had one hand holding his junk so his sweats wouldn't fall down, and he had his other hand up in the air just throwing signs or whatever. And I was just so disgusted by that, because I'm thinking, how dare you sit there and sing songs that have any N-word in it? Like, what? I don't listen to any songs that have the N-word in it. You know why? Because the N-word represented so much hurt and pain for my people, for my family, for my grandparents, for my great-grandparents. I mean, that was the lowest of the low. If a Caucasian, or anybody, I shouldn't say Caucasians, I'm sorry, but for anybody, if they really wanted to disrespect an African American person, all they had to do was use the N-word, because you know what? The N-word signified stupidity, it signified laziness. Basically, the N-word meant you were the scum of the earth, meant that you were, you was worth less than the dirt on the other man's shoe. It meant that, that you had no worth. It meant that you had no value. Whenever someone would use the N-word, it was never in an encouraging way. It was never in an uplifting way. It was never in a positive way. So now, why in this day and age would you listen to a song, listen to anything that has the N-word in it, and say, oh my gosh, that's the type of person I want to be? And it makes me so freaking pissed when people say, oh, it's different because he's my brother. It's different because she's my sister. So because it's coming from another black person, that's okay. So because, oh, he's black, it's okay for him to degrade you. It's okay for him to steal from you. It's okay for him to, kill you. It's okay for him to harm you in that way. Oh, because it's from another African American person, oh, that's okay. But if it was from any other person, oh, all hell will break loose, right? I don't understand that. No, I don't care if it's from a Caucasian, a Latino, a Russian, an African American person. You're not going to use that word around me. I'm not going to listen to that. And that's the day and age in which we live in. I mean, go to any school and talk to an African American young person, middle schooler, high schooler, and ask them, hey, all of you so-called wannabe basketball players, tell me, who was the first African American inducted into the NBA? The first African American. They can tell you about LeBron James, right? They can tell you about D-Wade, they can tell you about Chris Bosh. They can tell you about Iverson, they can tell you about Derrick Rose. They can tell you about Dwight Eisenhower. They can tell you about all of those people, but who was the first? Who was the guy who paved the way so you can have this opportunity to become a basketball star? Who was it? They can't tell you, but I can tell you. The person was Harry Bucket Lou. Yeah, that's something I learned actually 2 years ago. You learn something new, but yeah, I know that now. All of these so-called wannabe singers that we have out there. Who was the first African American female to actually sing on the steps of Washington, D.C.? Who was the first female? I bet you all of them wannabe singers out there. They can tell you about Beyonce. They can tell you about Nicki Minaj, right? They can tell you about Mariah Carey. They can tell you about Whitney Houston, but can they tell you about Marian Anderson, the first African American female? You know, all of the so-called wannabe athletes. Who was the first female, you know, track star to win like triple gold medals or whatever? I shouldn't say whatever, but you know, Jackie Joyner Kersee, like one of the first African American female runners in track to like just beast it all. They can't tell you about that, right? All of these video games and toys that kids love so much. I'm sorry, something's in my nose. All these video games that kids love so much, like, you know, who came out with the Super Soaker that all these kids are buying and playing with today, you know? Like what about the traffic lights that are super important? I mean, who was the first African American person open heart surgery, you know, conjoined twins, first person into outer space? I mean, I kid you not, probably half of our African American children generation won't be able to answer at least half of those questions. You know why? Because they're so focused on I love bad bees and that's my effing problem. You know, that's not my effing problem, because that's what they're so focused on. You know, they're so focused on 2 Chainz, you know, Waka Flocka, you know, or Rick Ross. I mean, that's what they're focused on. And it's a shame. I think I'm running over time with this video. This is just something that's just been bothering me, that, you know, have goals for yourself, set goals for yourself, and be something greater. You know, our forefathers and mothers fought so we can have more than that they ever had, so that our children and our grandchildren can have more than we ever had. They didn't march, they didn't get tasered and gas sprayed on them and water hose and bitten by dogs and beaten and locked in jail and lynched and murdered, so what, we can sit around singing I love bad bees, that's not my effing problem? Like, that's what they fought for, that's what they gave up their lives for, so we can sit around with our pants hanging down, blunts in our mouths, right? So we can have baby mamas, baby daddies on drugs, in and out of jail, probation, on government assistance. Like, what? Like in Chicago, I don't know if any other states are doing this, but in Chicago, they have this thing that they pay you for going to school. Like, if you go to school for X amount of days and you keep up pretty decent grades, they pay the kids. Like, what in the world? Like, you shouldn't have to pay a kid to go to school and get good grades. That should just be natural. Like, our forefathers, like, what? Getting an education, learning how to read and to write was held as a privilege, was held as an honor. Like, Caucasian people were so scared. They even said, like, if this black person learns how to read, learns how to write, we're in some serious trouble. That's why they didn't want black people learning how to read, because they knew once we got knowledge, there was nothing we could do. Once we got knowledge, there was nothing we could do. That's why they forbade it so much. But now you have to pay kids to go to school. You have to give them incentives. You have to give them awards. You have to give them little treats here and there. Like, what in the world have we succumbed to? Like, to listen to hip hop, to not listen to hip hop. Personally, myself, I don't really listen to hip hop, you know, because like I said, it's degrading, it's nasty, it's disgusting. Like, if I do listen to hip hop, I listen to artists that are pretty clean. I listen to a lot of Christian rap, and then there are some hip hop artists that I do listen to, like Eminem, even though he has a lot of, you know, cursing in some of his songs and he has some suggestive stuff. But I like Eminem because even though he may have a lot of cursing things in that, he has a positive message to it. His songs are not just about killing or sex or getting money or drugs. Like, he actually talks about lifting yourself up and being better and making a change, making a comeback. So yeah, if anything, when I do listen to hip hop, I listen to him, I listen to some Common, I'm gonna listen to some, Ryan, you know, Macklemore and Ryan Lewis are not really hip hop, but they do have some hip hop artists on their track. So I listen to stuff like that. Like, I try to keep it, you know, kosher. I don't listen to all of that crazy stuff. I mean, literally, seriously, like, do a test. Like, this is the best thing I can tell you. Take all of your favorite artists, like Gucci Mane. Well, from what I understand, he sucks. Gucci Mane, T.I., Waka Flocka, 2 Chainz, Rick Ross, Kanye West, all those people, P. Diddy, whoever. and literally sit down, listen to the lyrics, listen to the message of the songs, and see what half of those songs are talking about. Half of those songs, lies, 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 lies. That's what half of the songs are about. It's nothing but lies. It is nothing but lies. So I encourage you to really, what influenced you the most in life, what you listen to, who you hang around with, what you watch, and what you read. Those four things is what influences you the most. What you listen to, the music, of course, what you watch, television, who you hang out with, of course, and what you read. So I think I've gone way too long ranting, talking about this. You make a decision for yourself. Like I said, this is just my opinion. These are just my thoughts. You may agree with it, you may not agree with it, but I really think that we need a change. Something has to be done. We need a change. I think it starts with our music. I love you guys so much. Thanks for taking the time to hear me out. I gotta go, but remember, peace, love, and happiness.